But do you think that the significance of a Bob Marley is up there with a Marcus Garvey?
Well, Bob Marley had great influence, but he didn't do the same physical works that a Marcus Garvey did. But as far as how he fed your soul
Right.
and your spirit,
Right, because Bob Marley at the end of the day was a musician.
right? But let's not just
But that was
downplay that.
It's not a downplay, but
A lot of magic can be done with music.
right. But Bob Marley's main thing was music.
Mm-hmm.
Bob Marley was not going to stop music in order to pursue civil rights.
No.
See what I'm saying?
Right.
He knew what
He knew how to incorporate the
he knew how to incorporate the two, but he was not going to. He's not going to say, you know something, fuck all this music shit, fuck these concerts. I'm going to focus just on civil rights.
Well, yeah. I mean, there was a time when Bob was like, fuck this. You know what I mean? Like, he wasn't all into the fame like how a lot of people was. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he wasn't into that type of shit. He'd rather just be playing soccer with his fucking boys and shit. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? But, yeah, I see what you're saying. Like, you know, he still did what he did, you know?
Yeah.
Like Farrakhan used to play the violin, and he was quite like he had a little celebrity at that time for doing that.
Right.
Like he was on white TV shows and all of that type of shit.
That's what I'm saying. Bob Marley was not going to leave that.
Well, we don't know what would have happened later on. Maybe could have came a Rastafari, you know, someone high in Rastafari, where you know he said, "Fuck off this Babylon music, them me a go and be a," you know what I mean?
Let's put it like this. The reason why Bob Marley died was when he had cancer in his toe. Mm-hmm. The doctor told him to cut off his toe because the cancer was going to spread. Bob Marley did not want to cut it off because he wouldn't be able to dance on stage.
And play soccer and shit like that.
Yeah, but really dancing on stage, the way it was presented in this documentary, which his family was involved in, was he danced on stage and he didn't want to have that affect his dancing, so he found another doctor that just said, let's just cut off half of it. And then he ended up dying from cancer because of that move. So him dancing on stage essentially killed him. You know what I mean? Wanting to pursue his dancing and his arts was ultimately the cause of his early demise, which was an absolute tragedy. But that just goes to show how serious he was about his music and everything else like that.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
right, but music is transformative, and you know you can do civil rights work just by making music. You know what I mean?
yeah. I mean,
And sometimes,
look at Tupac.
and sometimes your music can even transcend, you know, physical things that are left here. You know what I mean? Like Marcus Garvey did great things, and physically as well as mentally, spiritually, he planted seeds to grow. But everybody's not going to necessarily be able to do what he did in the way that he did it.
Well, let's get back to Lil Wayne.
Okay.
So Lil Wayne basically said, "Fuck BLM." Mm-hmm. He said, "Don't talk to me about that dumb shit." Did that bother you though?
Well, it bothered. Not that he said fuck BLM, because like I said, I'm not a BLM motherfucker.
Okay.
I just didn't necessarily particularly like the way he was talking to the sister. You see, the sister that was interviewing him, I thought he was treating her kind of rude, you know. But when I first watched it, I had no knowledge of anything previous that was said to him by her, although I still don't think she said anything wrong. I didn't see how the question was asked. I heard about it. So again, I don't have 100% information, but I think I have enough. Yeah, I was more bothered just by how he was talking to her. And then it just seemed like he was like, Black Lives Matter, what's that? Like, you know. But I kind of felt like maybe he didn't know. You see what I'm saying? And then I guess the part where he said, I'm a young, black, rich motherfucker. If that don't show you America understands, think Black Lives Matter, I don't know what did.
Well,
like,
and
to me, that was the part that
right.
probably got me the most.
Well, and in previous interviews, he said, I don't see racism. I don't believe in it. You know, a white cop saved my life, you know, when I shot myself or something like that. Like, I don't know anything about that. And, you know,
For him, that might be
it
true.
might be true.
You see?
Yeah.
It might be true for him. But that's a sad state of affairs that we have been that disconnected from our people. You know, and the reason why you're so famous is because, you know, you kind of represented the common man at first. Like, you know what I mean? That whole, you know, New Orleans, like, come on, man. That's like the common people like a motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like Calliope, Magnolia, all of that type of shit. That's like, those people know. I mean, the police is on some shit. You see what I'm saying? Those people have not been insulated the way you have been. But you were repping these people.
Because Lil Wayne obviously has millions of white fans. Mm-hmm. But I feel that he has all these white fans because he has a core black fan base.
Of course.
This
is what a lot of artists forget.
Yeah. If at some point all the core black fans say, we're not fucking with this guy, the white fans would say, oh, that's what y'all saying? Oh, we probably shouldn't fuck with this guy then. Because
at the end of the day, white people are looking to the cues of black people
Agreed.
to see what's cool and what's not. You know,
And
we like it, but then they're going to look back. Should I like this?
Yeah.
I should? Okay.
Right.
If they look back and we don't fuck with that, they're going to,